It's just comedy.
The Jell-O program, starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston and Phil Harris and his orchestra.
Thank you. This is Groucho Marx. Well, here I am, stepping in over my head again.
With Fibber McGee and Molly.
Folks, this is just as new to me as it is to you.
Hello? Hello, Mr. Benny, this is Rochester.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Well, what an original greeting.
Hello and welcome to another week of comedy, funny, haha, on Dwayne Old Time Radio. One thing, please subscribe to my channel. If you enjoy what I'm doing, subscribing is 100% free. Also, one more thing, if you have a few seconds or 1 minute, please leave a review on your preferred podcast service, especially if you're on Apple, Spotify, or really just your preferred podcast service. Thank you and hope you enjoy. To keep the Christmas theme going for the month, we have the Henry Morgan Show, 2 episodes from Henry Morgan. The first one is titled Christmas Story, which aired Christmas Day, December 25th, 1946. Then we're going to get a little bit ahead of ourselves with the next episode titled New Year's Eve Show. That one aired on New Year's Day, January 1st, 1947.
The Henry Morgan Show. Yes, the Henry Morgan Show with Arnold Stang, Fran Warren, Kurt Kelton, Milton Kadam's orchestra, and me, Ben Brower. And here's the star of the Henry Morgan Show, standing on his favorite corner in front of the cigar store.
Good evening, anybody. Here's Morgan. Thank you. Not so many Christmases ago, we broadcast a little Christmas story for children. And it was definitely for children, but we heard later that a number of grown-ups sneaked out of bed and listened. Well, you know how parents are, kids. Just when you think that they're asleep, they come out of the bedroom with all kinds of excuses. They want a drink of water. Or there's a tiger in the room. Or their blanket fell on the floor or something. So this year, we might as well let them stay up and listen. But parents, no snickering. We're not going to stand for a lot of grown-ups sitting in front of the radio shaking their heads doubtfully, as though we were making the whole thing up. Now, kids, if you notice your mommy or daddy saying things like, oh, nonsense, or, well, that couldn't happen, just look them in the eye and say, I find this story thoroughly credible. Of course, I don't have that kind of trouble with my parents. If they say, oh, nonsense to me, I just don't give them tickets to my show. Now, it's a story, and pretty good. And the story begins the day after Christmas, which you have to admit is an unusual day to begin a Christmas story. It's about 2 boys and a girl. They're named Norman, Joey, and Jeannie. How old are they? Oh, they're just about your age. And where do they live? Oh, just across the street. As the story begins, it's the day after Christmas. And Norman, a boy, is coming up the front walk to Joey's house, and he says...
Hiya, Joey. Hi, Norman. What presents have you got broken?
Oh, I forgot to tell you. What he said was, what presents have you got broken? It was a very good line, too. And I have to tell you that Joey is sitting there looking at the ruins of an electric train, which it took a dozen graduate engineers to put together.
What you doing, Joey? I'm trying to figure out how to put this train together again. Who took it apart? My father. Don't you know enough not to let your father fool around with your toys? They don't know what it's all about. Well, he was fooling with the train and running it round and round, and after a while he said he had a theory about how to make it run different. What's his theory? I don't know. Something your father has when he tells you to hand him a screwdriver. What'd you get for Christmas? Oh, a sled and some skates and a rector set. Yeah? What else? Oh, the rest of it was just useful stuff. Yeah, I got stuck with some of that, too. Hello, Norman. Hello, Jeannie. Hello, Joey. Joey, why don't you say hello to Jeannie? She's my sister.
Hey, Norman, I bet you didn't see Santa Claus.
Oh, yeah? Did you?
Sure.
Did he come down the chimney?
We got radiators. Oh, Joey, Mama says for you to come in and wash up for supper.
That don't bother me. What a pest this sister is. I asked for a brother and I got you.
Now, you better mind or Santa Claus won't bring you anything for Christmas.
We just had Christmas, Smarty.
Smarty yourself, I mean next year.
Ha! You don't have to be good all year. I figure 2 weeks before Christmas is plenty.
You do so, too, have to be good all year.
Good all year for just one Christmas? Gee, that doesn't sound fair. Yeah, if you've got to be good every day on account of Christmas, then it ought to be Christmas every day. What do you think, Joey? It ought to be, but it ain't. That's on account of they got the wrong people in charge of it.
Who, Joey?
You know, grown-ups.
You know, Joey's absolutely right. I can't blame him for wanting Christmas every day if he has to be good every day. And that's the way it looks to him as he sits down to supper with Joan and his father and his mother on the day after Christmas.
Did you wash up before coming to the table, Joey?
Yes, Mom.
He didn't.
I did.
For goodness sakes, children, stop it.
Didn't.
Now, that's enough. Didn't what, Gene?
I forgot.
Joey, you aren't eating a thing. Pass your plate.
Oh, Mom, I don't like turkey hash.
Nonsense, son. It's delicious. No, thank you, Mother. I don't believe I'll have any.
Daddy, is that right what Jeannie said? That you have to be good all year for Santa Claus to come?
That's right, son.
Gosh, if a fella's got to spend all his time being good, he never gets time to live a little. Isn't that right, Daddy?
Huh? Oh, of course, Joey.
Father.
Hmm? Oh, no, Joey. Of course not. Whatever your mother says. Mother, would you hand me that newspaper, please?
Here you are, dear. I haven't seen it yet. What are the headlines?
General Eisenhower gives up presidential ambitions, announces he has become Republican. Say, here's an interesting item. You remember that woman in Boston who left $50,000 to her cat last year?
Yes.
The cat just died and left it to another cat.
Well, that's sensible.
Here's an interesting item.
Read it, dear.
Park Avenue theater owners are lobbying in Washington against popcorn machines. Look at this headline. Snobby lobby claims popcorn hobby makes their lobbies slobby.
Daddy, what's a lobby?
Well, a lobby is a group of people who go to Washington to put pressure on congressmen so they'll pass a new law.
Can they get any kind of a law passed?
Well, sometimes it seems that way.
Even if the president doesn't want it?
Especially.
Dad,
Yeah?
how far is it to Washington?
Well, I never said it. Somebody else must have said it. Well, the plot is not getting any thinner. Joey's getting an idea to have a law passed. Sort of a new OPA. Overthrow parents' authority. And naturally, the first thing he has to do is tell Norman.
Hey, Norman, we got to start a lobby. Okay, what's a lobby? Well, a lobby is when you go to Washington and tell a senator to pass a law. Who does? Anybody. Us, we could do it. We got rights just like people. No kidding. Sure. You just go to Washington and tell them to pass a law like no school, no washing for supper, no spankings, no running errands.
They wouldn't pass all those laws.
Yeah.
But I know how you can get everything you want with just one law.
Yeah?
On Christmas, you don't go to school, you don't run errands, and you don't get spanked. Isn't that so?
Yeah.
So you just get the senator to pass a law making every day Christmas.
Jimmy!
Santa Claus would come every day, too.
You suppose he would?
He'd have to if it was a law.
Jiminy!
We haven't got a Jiminy. We got a radiator. Yes?
So the three children have decided to go to Washington. And while the kids are packing their little overnight bags and buying their little railroad tickets, why don't we sit back and listen to little Fran Warren, who is still dreaming of a white Christmas, as she sings, "Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow."
All the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Oh, it doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I'll hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. The fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbye. But as long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. The fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbye. But as long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Thank you, Fran. Fine. Thank you, Fran. Now we go back and join the three kids, Joey, Norman, and Jean, who, you probably remember, had decided to go to Washington as the head of a children's lobby to get a law passed making every day Christmas. They carry with them a petition signed by such leading American figures as Butch Jenkins and Margaret O'Brien. And so, to Washington, where the three children have just arrived.
Gee whiz, look at all the big buildings around. What's that thing? I saw a picture of that one. That's the Washington Monument. Wow, is he tall.
My mother says that maybe I'll grow up and be president.
They don't have girl presidents.
Why not?
Well, a president has to make laws and speeches and wars and things like that. Yeah. All ladies do is cook and go shopping and take care of the kids.
Well, they can do all that other junk in their spare time.
Hey, let's ask someone where we can find some senators. Hey, there's a man. Let's ask him. Hello, mister.
Hiya.
We just came to Washington. We have to go someplace in an awful hurry.
Who's stopping you?
We don't know exactly where to go.
What's the matter? You lost?
No. We came to Washington to get something done.
You're lost.
No, we ain't lost. We got important business. We're going to see a real senator.
Big deal. Well, if you're looking for senators, why don't you go to the Senate building? It's on S Street.
They told us it was on O Street.
I tell him S. He tells me O.
Thanks, mister. I hope we'll see you again sometime.
Likewise.
Still don't know what Gerard was doing in Washington. But those children were there on business, and they started to look for a senator to get their bill introduced. In the crowds, they couldn't tell who was a senator because many senators look like people. So they went all around Washington where they saw many politicians and other sights. Finally, they came to an important government building.
Mister, what building is this?
This is the Bureau of Printing and Engraving.
What's that?
Well, this is where we make all the paper money.
Oh, my daddy makes a lot of money.
I hope he doesn't make it the way we do.
How much money you got here, huh?
Oh, I don't know. I just keep making it. Then I never know where all that money goes.
That's just what Daddy always tells Mommy.
I tell you something, though. Last week alone, I made $20 million.
Gosh.
Last month, I made $200 million. For the year, I made $3 billion. And here's a sample of my work.
Gosh.
A picture of a penny.
Here's another place. Maybe they can help us here. I'll open the door.
Look here, Jones. Now, haven't you found my fountain pen yet?
No, sir, and I've looked everywhere for it.
Now that pen's been missing for 3 weeks. Can't anybody in this place ever find anything?
What does it say on the door, Joey? Federal Bureau of Investigation. Hey, Norm, maybe this is the place. Yeah, it says Senate Committee. Let's go in.
Yes, what is it? I'm a busy man. Where you from?
Well, sir, we're from PS 58.
What congressional district?
Huh?
I said what congressional district? 3rd, 4th, 5th?
Oh, we're from the 3rd grade. Miss Horton is our teacher.
Horton? I don't know any Miss Horton.
Gee, didn't you ever go to school?
Of course I went to school, but that was 40 years ago.
Oh, Miss Horton must have been there then.
Now, listen, children, you just can't come walking in here. After all, this is the government.
I know. Government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Say, that's pretty good. Do you know who said that?
Yes, sir. Miss Horton.
Now, children, what can I do for you? I'm a busy man.
Mr. Senator, we came here about Christmas.
Yes. We don't think one Christmas a year is enough. We'd like to have Christmas every day.
Christmas every day? Well, I can't blame you. When I was young, I also had dreams. But now I don't dream of making everyone happy. I don't dream of solving all problems. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
What?
You don't sleep so good.
Of the people, by the people, for the people. Miss Horton said that, eh?
Yes, sir. And we believe it, too.
I see. Let me ask you something, kiddies. Are you now, or have you ever been, a member...
They didn't get very far with that senator, but they weren't discouraged. After all, a child who can nag his mother into giving him an all-day sucker just before dinner, not going to be discouraged by a senator. And the children began to take up support around the country. Newspaper headlines said,
"Kids claim cloakroom quorum."
One paper quoted the minority opposition group with the headline,
"Anti-kid block blocks kids block."
And on the air, you heard reports like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, your favorite news commentator, Walter Morgan.
Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. American. All piece of ship. Beep, 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 beep. All right, already. The Children's Committee for Christmas Every Day continues to meet with congressional biggies. Also, Smallies. For lawmakers are weakening before Lollipop Lobby. And insiders said they didn't have a chance. Ha! All right.
But, Mr. Secretary, we want it awful bad.
Ridiculous, absurd, flagrantly unconstitutional. Undermines the foundation of our government. Of the people, by the people, and for the people, as was said by that great statesman, Miss Horton of PS 58. Your proposal is undoubtedly a priori and e pluribus.
Now, what do you say to that?
Okay, now stop that. Right now. Please, you can't. You're just trying to... Oh, all right.
Ah, woman's tears. How important they've been to history. If it weren't for a woman's tears, civilization wouldn't have many of its wonderful inventions. Mink coats, diamond bracelets, babies, and so the children's lobby made progress. And on the air, you heard...
Ladies and gentlemen, your favorite news commentator, H.V. Carlton Morgan.
Good morning. Tonight, the news from Washington concerns the United Nations delegate from Russia, who is, I understand, Russian. And there is a discussion of the future of the United Nations, which, in my opinion, still lies ahead. This may mean nothing, or, on the other hand, something. Or both. Which is unlikely, at least at this time. Meanwhile, the children's lobby is making considerable progress in Washington. It looks very much as if the president will... Good night. And finally, late on the next day...
Hey, Norman, let's try this place. We haven't been here. Okay, Joey, let's go up the steps.
Oh, welcome to the White House, children. Is there something I can do for you?
Well, we'd like to have a law passed.
I know just how you feel.
This would be a very popular law. You see, we want to...
Just a moment, kiddies, just a moment. Margaret. Just a moment. Margaret! Well, kiddies, I feel this way about it. You can please some of the people some of the time, and some of the people all of the time. But you can't please some of the people any of the time.
If you pass this law, you'll please all of the kids all of the time.
All right, I'll do it. Have a glass of buttermilk?
Ladies and gentlemen, your favorite news commentator, Gabriel Morgan.
Ah, there's good news tonight. There's a little light burning in the White House tonight. And there's something about the sight of a white light burning bright in a house that's white that makes a man want to shout out so all the world can hear. Oh, there's good news tonight. And little children are rejoicing tonight all over the world tonight. And I've just been handed a flash, and it says, good night. And so the law was... Thank you on behalf of that fellow. And so the law was passed, making every day of the year Christmas. Every day of the year. And there were great changes throughout the land. The George Washington Bridge was torn down to make a Richter set. The 4 colored assembly lines converted overnight to making four-door Tinker Toys. On the stock market, the flexible flyer went up and down. And every poor little girl had a mama doll. And every rich little girl had a mater doll. Did this make boys and girls happy? We'll find out right after Milton Cadence plays Bernie Green's special type Christmas medley.
Little Jack Horner sat in a corner eating a Christmas pie. He put in his thumb and pulled out a plum. And said, what a good boy am I?
What's the boy?
Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. Little boy blue, come blow your horn. The sheep in the meadow, the cows in the corn.
It's now 1 year later. The children have had Christmas every day for a year. The time is now December 24th, and the same two little boys are talking.
Hello, Mormon. Hello, Joey. What have you got there? A sled. How many sleds you got? 364. Me too. How many footballs you got? 364. How many skates you got? 728.
Hello, fellas.
Hello, Gene. What have you got there?
Oh, another old doll.
What's its name?
Ditto.
You know, I broke the window in the garage today. Gee, that's good. Maybe we won't get any presents. Nah, they forgave me. Why? 'Cause it's Christmas. Ah, gee, Christmas every day. I sure miss the 4th of July. Yeah, me too. I sure wish we had July 4th every day. Now don't start that again.
Oh, look, fellas. Here comes Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Well, hello, children. Merry Christmas.
What's so funny?
Well, here it is, Christmas. Again. I have the peachiest present for all you children. Norman, would you like to see what I brought you?
Nah.
Oh, I got the best sled in the whole world for you.
You said that yesterday.
Oh, this one's got fog lights and ashtrays and a radio and chromium bumpers.
I got that kind.
I know, but this one's a convertible.
I don't want it.
Oh, now, don't make me take it back to the North Pole again. You know what we agreed, fellas. No return.
Okay. Put it on that pile over there.
Well, fine. Goodbye and Merry Christmas.
Santa,
Yes?
how about not coming tomorrow?
Not come tomorrow?
Yes. Well, why don't you skip tomorrow and make it a holiday?
Oh, I'd love to, children. My feet are killing me. But you know, it's Christmas every day. It was your idea. See you tomorrow. Christmas, you know. Oh, those bells. I think I'll put in the buzzer. Well, goodbye.
You know, kids, Christmas all year round is awful. Our law has got to be repealed. It's a priori. It's C pluribus. Down with Miss Horton. On to Washington.
And so the children talked to the men in Washington who repealed the law and changed Christmas back to once a year. And all the children were happy again, and the moral of the story is, nil comparandum, nil quantulatum, nil ultimus, as said by that great Latin scholar and philosopher, Miss Horton of PS 58. Translated, this means, Merry Christmas, everybody, and a Happy New Year to you all.
Fran Warren, Fred Kelton, and Milton Cadams and his orchestra. In the cast were Art Connie, Jack Albertson, Joan Gibson, and youngsters Butch Cabell, David Anderson, and Joan Lazer. Morgan himself will be back on this corner in front of the cigar store at the same time next week. The Henry Morgan Show is produced by Kenneth McGregor. This is Ben Grauer speaking.
Good evening, anybody. Here's Morgan. Thank you very much. And a Happy New Year. This year, according to our research department, will be 1947. Last year, in case you missed it, will be 1946. Now, we've been going over our books for the year, balancing debits and credits, and I have here a brief report on the year's doings of the House of Morgan. The first item is jokes. We find that in this program in 1946, we used 918 jokes. Not counting several hundred we thought were jokes. Of these 918, 818 got laughs. The other 100 jokes we carry over to this year, and we'll give you another chance at them. Well, let's see, 818 laughs, but in radio there are many different kinds of laughs, so we have to break that figure down. We got 124 yucks, 68 bops. If this is new to you, a yuck is when everyone laughs loud enough so we can count all the gold inlays in the audience. That's the trade name. A buff, or belly laugh, is when we can count all the belt buckles. Now, a buff yuck, or gold belt buckle, that's when the sponsor laughs. According to the report, no buff yucks. But we did get 214 freeps. A freep is when everybody laughs because the person next to him is laughing. Unless, of course, it's an empty seat. Now, we got 88 orcs. An orc is when the orchestra laughs. Now, when the orchestra laughs, it's because a guy in the orchestra is laughing because the trombone player whispered something funny. But we count them. They add up. We also got 88 Bernies. A Bernie is when Bernie Green laughs. He laughs because somebody told him what the trombone player said. And we got 100 yucks, which is when nobody laughs at the joke, but the comedian gets it by wiggling his ears. That makes 672 laughs. 672 from 818 leaves 146. We got 146 laughs in rehearsal. Well, you'll just have to take my word for it, that's all. So much for laughs. Now, let's see. Here's our report on the mail. Every morning about 11, the mail clerk staggers in with my fan mail. Don't know why that boy should stagger with 3 letters, but it's not my business to report him. Incidentally, I'd like to thank Fred Allen for his encouraging letter. I wish he'd put the next one in writing. Those tea leaves are so hard to read. We had a letter from Bing Crosby which said, "Boo-boo-boo-boo." And, altogether, are you people just smirking? Altogether, during the past year, our mail totaled 118 pounds. Tonight, I've selected a few ounces. The first letter reads,
Dear Mr. Morgan, gosh, we must have a never-sharp chick radio. Because whenever you come on the air, my father changes stations automatically.
And here's a rather interesting letter from an ardent fan.
Dear Mr. Morgan, I find your program very hard to turn off and will continue to do so.
So much for the report in the fan mail. According to the report on scripts, we have lots of material left over from last year, and we have to use it up tonight if we want to start the new year even. Let's see now. We had 4 sound effects left over from last year. First, a cash register. Next, a ship dropping anchor. Then, a rustling of paper. And a shattering of glass. Now, in addition to these sound effects, we had 4 sentences left over from last year. They had to be cut out of different programs at the last moment. These are the 4 sentences. 1.
Yes, delicious, ain't it?
2.
Here's your change, sir. They don't call me Honest Ambrose for nothing.
3.
What a pity. We'll never find it in this here fog.
4.
Honey, you ain't been getting enough calcium lately.
Just leftovers. Now, we also had a bit of music that was left. Bernie? Guess that's all that was left. Well, I'd like to get all these leftovers out of the way, if you don't mind. So I've prepared a little sketch to use up all this extra material. Then we can start the new year. Bernie, we'll start if you'd use some of the leftover music, please. Our story begins on the deck of a small tramp steamer bound for New York with a cargo of tramps. This is really a ruse. In reality, this is a gambling ship, and 2 stealthy figures are busy marking the deck. One says,
Nasty weather for the Admiral's dinner tonight, Walt.
Regular pea soup fog.
Yes, delicious, ain't it? I mean, one gets tired of nothing but chicken noodles.
Say, would you lend me $5?
Well, here's a $10 bill, but I can only lend you $3.
Very well, then you can owe me $2. Which leaves you 5, and here's your change, sir. They don't call me Honest Ambrose for nothing. Okay, I believe we've dropped anchor.
What a pity. They'll never find it in this here fog.
Thanks. Our next scene, naturally, is in old Arizona. Ambrose walks into the Last Chance Saloon where his keen ears detect a strange, treacherous sound.
Hey, what's that noise?
It's me. I was just rustling this here paper.
Stranger, we don't stand for no rustlers in this here town. I don't even let Jane rustle. One of us has to leave pronto.
All right? I'll go.
No, I'll go. You left last time. I ain't been out of town all year.
2 hours later, Ambrose pulled up his weary steed before a small house. His steaming horse was covered with lather, and leaving instructions for the beast to be shaved, he went inside to visit his sweetheart.
Oh, there you are, Maribel, honey. You're so delicate, so fragile, like a china doll. Here, let me hold you real close to me, darling. Honey, you ain't been getting enough calcium lately.
Don't worry about it, because now we're even for last year. We can start fresh. Oh, here's the report from the Ever-Sharp Schick Injector Razor Company. On 12 programs, the name Ever-Sharp last year was mentioned 438 times. The full title, Ever-Sharp Schick Injector Razor, was mentioned 105 times. I had meetings with the sponsor twice. I lost twice. I said the razor changes blades automatically 12 times. Charlie said it once. Ted Using said it 150 times. We all said the Ever-Sharp Schick Injector Razor sells for $1.25, complete with 20 blades. As a result of this high-pressure salesmanship, we sold 3 razors. A man in Oregon bought 2 in the belief that it was a pen and pencil set. My father bought the other one, thinking that what I said was blazers. End of report. Since this is the first day of the new year, we think it's only fitting to take a look at what the other 364 are going to be like. So we're going to describe the rest of 47. And if you feel like it, you can go to sleep right after the show and stay in bed all year. First, the weather for 47. In California, this winter, the weather will be mild and sunny with occasional showers. Daily. The winter in Chicago will be very cold. The winter in Florida will be very expensive. Now for a quick survey of the changes in 47. At the beginning of 46, the housing shortage was called severe. At that time, 4 million people were crowded into garages. By the end of the year, the situation had improved. 2 million of these people had been able to find cellars. And in 47, we predict that railroads will move forward. Next year, the American public will find an unexpected luxury on railroad trains.
Hey, Sadie, look at me.
What is it?
I'm sitting.
We come now to soap, which expects a banner year in 47. We've invited Mr. Homer Clunk, manufacturer of one of our better-known soaps, Broken Heart Soap, the soap with a message, to discuss the future of his business. Mr. Clunk, we're delighted to have you with us this evening.
Of course you are.
I get it. Do you have any plans for any new kinds of soap?
Of course I do. Today our designers are working on a new soap bar. Rather expensive. It'll cost you $2 a bar, but it's well worth it.
Well, why will it cost so much?
This soap bar will have nuts on the inside.
Nuts on the inside?
Of course it will. In case you get hungry during your bath. Any other questions?
Of course I do. I mean, I have. Yes, I do.
Then there's the new soap I forgot to mention. Now, you know the soap that floats?
Yes.
Well, we have a new soap that chases you around the tub.
Thank you very much, Mr. Homer Clark. I got a feeling that's going to be left over next year, that whole thing. In 47, unions will go in for more collective bargaining. They'll go in for more. They may come out with less. But in many instances, there'll be a better understanding between employer and employee, as in this one.
Come in, come in.
I wanted to talk to you about a raise.
Well, sit down, sit down.
Well, you see, prices are way up and my expenses are high, and I thought maybe
I
if
understand your position perfectly, my boy.
Yeah, you mean you give me a raise?
Certainly. $25 a week raise.
$25 a week raise? Oh, boy. Thanks, Father.
The most important thing about any year is what the people will be thinking and doing. Let's look in on 2 average people on the first day of 1947.
Hello. Hello, Hortense. This is Gerard.
Hello, Gerard. This is Hortense. I want to express my deepest gratitude and appreciation for the hot time you showed me New Year's Eve.
Likewise.
See, didn't we have a good time to Evelyn's house?
Is that where we were?
Yeah, don't you recollect? First we were at Evelyn's house. Then I took you to my friend Katie's house. Then I took you to my friend Gloria's house. Then I took you to my friend Ruthie's house.
Gee, Hortense, and you didn't even drop me once. Anyway, Hortense, I'm glad it's a new year. My boss says that this year we're going to have great achievements and accomplishments in a field of pickles.
I'm glad for you, boss.
We're putting out a completely different pickle this year.
Is that so? What's it going to be?
We're calling it the New Dill.
1946 most likely to be killed off. Tonight, Bernie Green and his orchestra play the leading songs all America got most tired of in 46. Here is number 1084, which last week was only 1087, entitled, What is the Fruit, Dear, which after it's sold, you ain't supposed to keep it in the cold. Number 1084. Presents the beautiful love song, Soap Gets in Your Eyes. Your Flit Parade is presented by the makers of Elephant Cigarettes. Remember our slogan, I'd walk a mile for an elephant, but would he do the same for me? Remember, with men who bribe football teams, it's the New York Giants 24-14. And here is a song in 89th place, but destined to go nowhere. A song which hit the all-time medium. The song that taught people that a nickel is easily worth 5 cents. And here it is, number 3 on your obit parade. The song's most likely to drop dead. Number 3, entitled, Even Though Your Teeth Ain't Pearly, I'd Like You to Be My Girlie. And finally, somebody wrote that in on me. Finally, number 1. Yes, here's the number 1 candidate for whatever it is. The title, I Don't Love You, My Dear Mamie. I don't love you, and you can't blame me because... listening to your obit parade, songs we should have buried, and to the strains of our theme, You're Driving Me Crazy, we say farewell. This program is sponsored by the makers of Elephant Cigarettes. Remember our slogan, I'd walk a mile for an elephant, but I'd rather he'd run his own errands. Here it is, the announcement you've been afraid of, the Shave-a-thon. Oh, well, the Shave-a-thon isn't so bad. At least after it's over, we have no listeners left, so we can say anything we want. To continue our predictions about the coming year, we examine the field of medicine. Medicine has made tremendous advances during the past few years, especially in fees. In 1947, a lot of important things are going to happen in the medical profession. For instance, more and more doctors are becoming specialists. And this trend is going to continue. First, we meet Dr. Bradley. Doctor, you're an ear, nose, and throat man, aren't you?
That was last year.
And this year?
I treat only the right nostril.
I see. Why not the left nostril?
The left? Sir, I am a Republican.
It figures. This year there'll be an increasing number of consultations between doctors. There's a very good reason for consultations, and these doctors will show you. We take you behind the scenes of a medical consultation.
Dr. Lawrence, I wanted to consult with you about a patient.
What's the complaint, Dr. Sillaway?
He has an ingrown toenail.
So why the consultation?
He also has $1 million.
Ah, yes, you were wise to call me in, Doctor. How's it look?
Quite a toenail.
Bet it hurts him.
It's murder.
I'll bet. Those things hurt, you know.
I read that someplace. You, ever have one?
Yeah.
I'll bet it hurt.
And how?
But what can you do?
That's what I say. What can you do?
How about using hot water, Doctor?
I don't know.
Why not?
That stuff can get awful hot.
Well, thanks a lot, Doctor.
Glad to help.
I'll send your fee to your office.
No. Send it to my home.
Oh, expect to be home long?
Oh, a couple of weeks till my ingrown toenail gets better.
Funny, I was very fond of that in rehearsal. Listen to this startling testimonial to doctors.
I wouldn't be caught dead without my family doctor by my side.
Another thing that's going to happen this year, doctors are very likely going to start to advertise on the radio. Some of the more popular programs will be the news commentary by H.V. Corpuscle, Portia Faces Anesthesia, Life Can Be Bellevue, Ladies Be Inoculated, and I imagine a lot of new medical theories are going to be tried out. Now, last year, doctors discovered that patients improved more rapidly if they got out of bed very soon after an operation. This year, the theory will be carried even further.
Scalpel. Sutures. Forceps. All right, you can get up now.
But, Doctor, did you finish my operation already?
Start walking. I'll finish it on the way to your room. There. Your appendix is out. How do you feel?
Tennis, anybody?
Another advance in medicine has been the theory that many physical illnesses result from a state of mind. We take you now for a visit to the office of the famous Viennese specialist on this subject, Dr. Heinrich Morgan.
Dr. Morgan, we'd like very much to visit your office and see how you work. Is that all right?
I acquiesce.
Oh, I see you have two powerful microscopes on your desk.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't see a thing without them.
Now, Doctor, we're particularly interested in your method of treating patients who suffer from mental aberrations.
Oh, yeah, what?
I mean, people who imagine themselves to be sick.
Oh, sure, why you didn't said so. I show you.
First patient. Doctor, I'm in a terrible condition.
This I could see. What's the trouble?
I have an awful pain in my right leg.
The pain is all part of your imagination. When did it start?
Well, I was walking down a street, and I imagined I was hit by a brick.
I see. Tell me, when you were first realizing that you hate your grandmother?
I don't hate my grandmother, Doctor. But what about my leg?
See, he's fighting me. I tell you something. You just forget your grandmother and the pain would go away.
It will?
Sure.
Gee, you know, my leg feels better already.
That's fine.
Sure. My leg feels great. Only now I hate my grandmother.
we'll be on this same corner in front of the cigar store again next week at this same time.
Manufacturers of Eversharp Shake, Injector, Razors, and Blades invite you to tune in same time, same station next week when Eversharp will again bring you The Henry Morgan Show.
Oh, I see John Russell has stepped into the studio here. He's got some recordings in his hand and something else in there. Hi, John.
Hello, Chuck, and Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year.
Thank you. It's the day after New Year's Eve, but nevertheless, we have a dance party planned for our listeners today.
And some noisemakers,
too. We will feature the Ron Smolin Orchestra and lots of good dance music by other bands, too.
That's great.
It's Midwest Ballroom today at 5 o'clock.
We'll be listening.
Thanks, Chuck.
Put that down. Put that down. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to and showing your support for my podcast. If you would like to receive notifications of when new episodes are posted, please subscribe to my channel. Subscriptions are 100% free, and they really help me get an idea of how I'm doing. Well, hope you enjoyed, and until next time, stay safe, wish you well, and as always, peace.